But if we compare metal to the mainstream, throughout the beginning of metal to now, what's a common trait? It's almost always the polar opposite. It's designed to be repulsive from what everything else is going on. What's up guys, Jordan Needham, Jham Entertainment, and welcome to another episode of Shredheads. Again, we're on a solid roll right now, so let's go ahead and get into this. Today we're gonna be talking about kind of the trap metal, trap rap thing that's going on right now, and answering the question, can rap be metal? Now, there's a lot that I want to say about this topic, but before we get too deep into it, so like a few days ago, I was like, I'm gonna film on this day. And so here we are, but this morning I got up, I checked my phone, and McKenty happens to also be writing a video about this similar topic on trap metal, trap rap. So I just wanted to say that if any of our opinions kind of overlap here, I am not pulling them from him. I'm not trying to steal anything. His video hasn't even came out yet, so I just want to make sure that everyone knows, like, hey, we're trying to be original here. And I do take a lot of influence from him. You know, I'm not gonna hide that at all, but I just wanted to make sure that people knew, like, hey, I'm not trying to rip this guy off or anything, you know? Okay, there's guys like Ghostemane, Scarlxrd, Shakewell, all these people that we have to include in this video, but before we go that deep into it, I know, I keep halting the brakes. Oh, God! But I think there's something important that we have to distinguish here. What is metal culture and sound? What does it really mean to be metal? Oh God, here we go. Now I'm trying to define metal. I can't imagine how many people I'm pissing off right now. So there are a few traits of metal sound that I want to get across here, and then we'll kind of compare trap rap to see how these stack up. So metal consistently pushes extremes.
New bop at extreme, batteries not included.
It's extremely heavy or extremely fast or extremely dark, extremely weird. It's also one of those things that, like, it's a head turner, you know? It makes people a little concerned when they hear it. They go, is this guy okay? People give you really weird looks and they're concerned for your mental health when you're playing it because they're like, does he need help? Somebody help him. And you know, they wouldn't necessarily be wrong. As McKenty said, nobody gets into this music if they're completely normal or completely fine. On top of that, that basically means that the metal sound is very brutally honest. We don't beat around the bushes. Like a lot of pop artists, they'll talk about mental health, but they'll kind of beat around the bushes, you know, and they're not gonna say, like, most of the time, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking hang myself and kill the world. Not that that's necessarily a healthy thing to project on everybody, but metal doesn't really beat around the bush. It gets straight to the point. It just calls it like it is. That's personally one of the reasons that I love metal. There's not many other genres out there that really touch emotionally the same way, just because I always feel like other genres are kind of like, oh, we shouldn't say that. That's a little too weird. Ooh, you know what? That might offend this guy. But metal, I mean, for better or for worse, very brutally honest in its sound with its lyrics and the aggression behind it. It also breaks a lot of the formal sort of rules of music. Why does he sing like that? Dude, this guy sucks. It's not necessarily easy on the ears. And then a couple of bonus points. It usually pisses your parents off.
I worked 12 fucking hours today, and I come home to this?
It pisses the neighbors off, and it's badass. It's gotta be fucking badass, dude. So to sum it up, the metal sound, it's not afraid to show the real crazy. It pushes extremes. Moving forward to metal culture takes after a lot of the traits that are present in metal sound. We are against being normies, you know, we don't want to be super normal, and we're actually usually kind of like the repulsive version of normal.
Hi, how are you?
What's the meaning of this?
I took your advice. From now on, I'm normal.
Look at the way we dress, you know, like it's almost a polar opposite of the way that everybody else used to dress, at least. Metal attire has kind of gotten into the mainstream a little bit, but for the most part, it's almost always more edgy than everyone else, and it's a little bit attention grabbing for sure. Speaking from experience, you know, I actually went to a Christian school, and so I would wear like some metal shit all the time because I wanted to be the opposite of what that school was trying to make me. But I understand the repulsive, you know, like, fuck these people. I want to wear what I want. That's where I was. I was wearing a Slayer shirt, skull and everything. I could show it to you actually, but not really appropriate for a Christian school. But that was the point. Metal isn't really appropriate. So the culture isn't really appropriate to the pop culture. And that being said, it may come as no surprise to you that a lot of us in metal culture have a tough time fitting in basically anywhere. For instance, when I go to metal concerts, a lot of the times it can feel like the only reason that I really fit in is because I know that most other people there don't really fit in anywhere else. And so we're kind of brought in by never being able to fit in anywhere. But of course, never fitting in can signal a lot of mental health issues. And with that said, another trait of the metal culture and even the metal sound, kind of just summing it up here, is the mental health aspect of it. Now, my heart goes out to everybody that struggles with mental illnesses, depression, anxiety, and all this. And the metal community really is plagued with it. I even have experience with it myself. It's something that's difficult. And again, going back to it, nobody gets into this music if you're completely fine, you're completely okay. As a kid, you know, I had some rough moments. I dealt with social anxiety and then a little bit of depression as well. So God bless everybody out there that struggles with these issues as well. But it is a reality within this community that mental health runs pretty rampant. And it's unfortunate, but it is a huge trait of metal culture and metal sound.
I'm about to put a hurtin' on a beach show. We took a suicide, let it all go. Stuck in the middle of the earth in a ethereal. I'm about to take a little trip and never come home.
Okay, so part 2, can rap be metal? Scarlxrd, Ghostemane, Shakewell, Jake Hill, Josh A, whoever it is, can rap be metal? Well, a lot of people say no right off the bat because they expect metal to have heavy drums, a bunch of guitar, whole lot of riffs and everything going on. It's gotta be, you know, screaming and all of that. And those are definitely some traits of metal. But I think metal stands for more than just that. I think really what it comes down to is comparing it to mainstream. And that's why I don't really think metal can ever be mainstream. But if we compare metal to the mainstream, throughout the beginning of metal to now, what's a common trait? It's almost always the polar opposite. It's designed to be repulsive from what everything else is going on. And that leads to a lot of issues with marketing and album sales and everything, but it's also why it gets such a cult fan base, you know? For instance, we all know that Black Sabbath and Emmure don't sound really anything alike. But if we compare what everyone else was putting out at the time that Black Sabbath was putting out their stuff, you know, like Van Morrison or something, these are two very, very different sounds. And then if we compare Emmure to a popular pop artist, copyright with pop is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. We're not even gonna fuck with it. I didn't even try, because I'm not that stupid, y'all. Well, I'm pretty stupid, yeah. We can see something in common. Both Black Sabbath and Emmure basically are polar opposites of what the pop really was coming out with at their times. And of course, Emmure is still going strong. They released an album last year, and Frankie's done collabs and everything. Brand of Sacrifice. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about Brand of Sacrifice, I did an episode of Shred Heads, kind of like this. It's about how Brand of Sacrifice nailed it with album promotion, if you want to check that out. And it should be noted that your boys, Brand of Sacrifice, actually shared the post on their YouTube and shouted me out on their Instagram after I made that Shred Heads post. And your boy, the punk rock MBA, Finn McKenty, also commented on that episode of Shred Heads. So I think it's safe to say it's some quality content that you might enjoy. Okay, and now I know it's taken a long time to get to how can rap be metal. I mean, Jordan, you haven't even talked about rap this whole time. Well, I had to lay the groundwork. I had to lay the basis of everything. Well, now, with everything I just said, how does trap rap, this trap metal kind of thing that's going on right now, stack up to metal sound and metal culture? Well, I can tell you this. Scarlxrd and Ghostemane are definitely not part of the mainstream, although they are very, very popular. That doesn't mean that they're in the mainstream. And in fact, I know for a fact when I listen to Scarlxrd or Ghostemane and people overhear it, the majority of people, you know, concerned mothers and just very kind-hearted people turn their heads and go, do you need a therapist, dude? What the fuck? It doesn't sound like pop. It's the total opposite. In fact, Ghostemane's most recent album that came out in 2020 was called Anti-Icon. What Ghostemane did in that album is pretty blatantly metal. I mean, it's got sounds that sound a lot like kind of industrial, 9 Inch Nails sort of thing. Definitely some Marilyn Manson things going on there, and I don't mean to bring his name up amidst all this controversy, but it had to be said, there's some real influence there. So we look at these guys, Scarlxrd, you know, definitely pushes extremes, okay, so that's something in common. It's not like mainstream. It makes people turn heads. They go, that doesn't sound good. It's not easy on the ears. It's super aggressive. They break a lot of these formal rules. It's not supposed to sound like some beautiful pop artist whose parents paid for vocal lessons since they were 5 years old, 4 years old even, and now here they are, 18, putting out Billboard Top 100 albums. It doesn't pull any punches. In fact, it doesn't pull punches. It drops fucking bombs, okay? And it shoots you right in the face.
Okay. I thought it was cool. I got a little too excited, but you get it.
So this is a lot of similarities with metal sound and metal culture. So if you ask me, can rap be metal? Absolutely. Absolutely 100% it can be metal. And if you disagree with me, tell me, like, what is the stark difference between emmure and something like Ghostemane's most recent album? I know there's sound differences there, but they're both metal. Like, I don't know how anyone would argue that. And in fact, if you're inside the scene arguing that, go ask somebody that's not within the metal community, somebody that listens to pop music or just something else, you know, that isn't into metal. Does this sound like metal to you? Play some most recent Ghostemane, like AI or something. They'll say, yeah, that's pretty gnarly, that's metal. And if they don't, I would be honestly very surprised. Okay, so I don't think there's really much more to go into here. I think I basically made my argument, and if you disagree with me now, I think you're probably just gonna disagree with me no matter how long I talk. So instead of me just rambling on for the next 10-20 minutes, I'm gonna give you some suggestions, some artists to listen to if you're not sold.
Now you fucked up, bitch, I'm coming, now you turn into a suck up.
Jake Hill. Now my most recent Shredheads video is actually about Jake Hill, so you can check that out if you want to learn more about him. But his recent EP with Voidwalker and Wake Up, those are all super heavy tracks. You're gonna want to check those ones out.
Man, I've been fearless, I let him feel this. You know I spit it no cap when I killed this. I'm better hit him with the rest, let him hear this. Where this war tour better be a field trip.
Josh A, same thing. They're very similar. They do a lot of collabs together, so check him out as well. Ghostemane, of course. We talked a lot about Ghostemane.
I feel like this. It's gonna take way more than living to kill me.
Scarlxrd, of course, you're gonna want to check out Scarlxrd. Something like Apocalypse, that's a very heavy track.
Boy, what big eyes you have. Better to see you with hands of the wish curse with one grip.
Then, of course, we got Bones, kind of a pioneer in this field.
I scare myself to death. I scare myself to death. I scare myself to death.
Wake up and I'm down with the sickness.
Little bit of Nothing Nowhere. He's kind of more on the R&B, kind of emo side of things, but he definitely has a few of those heavy tracks.
I've been absolutely in love with Nothing Nowhere lately, and I think that it's actually better to check out some of his emo rap, and actually his recent single with Stand Atlantic is absolutely fantastic.
You make my head spin. You know I can't win. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's so good, right? Like, god damn, I love that song.
Twin Glock, bitch, you ain't a thug, you ain't a jam pop. Red dot, I'ma keep on stomping till it's near pop.
Shakewell.
Trying to hold me back to hide the fact that I'm a threat. My mind, the truth behind the lies.
Killstation is another one, kind of less so, but he's got a couple of those tracks.
Little sick, real sick, don't talk shit. Whip like a brick, scale on fish.
suicide nights.
And then finally, we got Suicide Boys, which to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of, but it's definitely something that has to be noted. They are probably the ultimate pioneers of this trap metal scene, so you gotta give credit where credit is due. So that does it. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Can rap be metal or can it not? Is it just impossible for rap to be metal? Does metal have to have guitars and drums and everything going on? Or are these traits that I expressed about metal, or do you disagree with my definitions? And I wouldn't be surprised if you disagree with a couple of the things. I tried to get it really broad, so I didn't want to get too specific on things that made it like a metal gatekeeper over here. So I'm very curious to hear your guys' take on this topic, so let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you never miss another one of my videos. I put out videos every week. I do reactions, and then I also have this shred heads thing that's been going on. I've been really picking up the pace on these shred heads videos, trying to make it more of a routine, and we got some other really cool things in store for the channel. You can also follow me on social media. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. Instagram is the best way to get in contact with me, so just shoot me a DM. On TikTok, I do a lot of funny things, like you'll find out how I broke my chair and why it is that I am sitting in this stool still. I'm still in my gaming stool. Yeah, that's right. Here at Jham Entertainment, we don't have a gaming chair. No. We have a gaming stool, and we also don't game. So, no gaming chair, but a gaming stool that doesn't even get used to game. What's going on here? I don't know. Figure it out on TikTok. And then one last quick note, if you guys like sci-fi, space, or anything like that, you can check out some of my CGI renders and products on jhamentertainment.com/products. I actually have some new stickers up on there. I got some planet stickers. I got a planet mug. I think it's pretty cool. And we got a whole bunch of new products coming out here. I'm trying to keep the price a little lower on some new products that are coming in. So trust me, I do have price in mind, and I'm doing what I can. So if you would check that out, I'd really appreciate it. And as always, I'm your boy, Jordan Needham. This has been Shred Heads on Jham Entertainment, and I will catch you next time.